Today, we're diving into a really powerful story from the Gospel of John. And it's about way more than just a miracle. It's actually a journey. We're going to follow a father's desperate plea to uncover what is basically a universal blueprint for how faith begins, how it gets tested, and ultimately, how it grows. Right from the get-go, the story drops us straight into a crisis that any parent, really any person, can immediately understand. There's no slow build-up, just the raw, terrifying reality of a child who is on the very brink of death. And here's our guy. He's not just some random person. The text calls him a nobleman, which means he was an official, probably working in Herod's court. So think about it. He's got status, he's got power, he's got wealth, but absolutely none of that matters when he's faced with losing his son. What's so incredible here is that this nobleman's experience isn't just a random event. As we're about to see, it follows a really distinct pattern. His journey from total desperation to solid belief gives us a clear, step-by-step look at how faith actually develops. So let's break this journey down into 5 clear stages. We're going to use this man's experience as our guide to see exactly how faith takes root and, really starts to flourish. So here it is. This is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start with a faith that's born out of pure desperation. Then we'll see it get tested and strengthened. After that, we watch it get confirmed by solid evidence. And finally, we see how it just has to expand to impact everyone around him. All right, let's jump into stage 1. Faith rarely just starts in a vacuum. A lot of the time, it ignites from a simple, undeniable, and totally desperate human need. So this first stage really has 4 key parts. It all kicks off with a crisis, the dying son. For us today, that need could be anything, right? A scary diagnosis, a financial collapse, or even just this crushing sense of emptiness. Then comes hearing a potential solution. Word gets around about Jesus. Then you gotta take action, actually coming to find him. And finally, that humble plea, just begging for help. Just think about the cost of this journey for a second. This was not an easy decision. He had to travel about 20 miles. That's nearly a full day's journey on foot, and he had to leave his dying son's bedside. I mean, what an agonizing choice for any parent. He also had to swallow his pride as this high-ranking official to go ask for help from a traveling teacher. The fact that he overcame all of that just shows you how powerful his initial glimmer of hope was. And this desperate action the nobleman takes, it really reflects a foundational promise that we see all throughout Scripture. Psalm 91:15 makes it crystal clear. A genuine call that comes from a place of trouble will be met with an answer. So the nobleman finds Jesus, but he doesn't get an immediate yes. Instead, his brand new faith is immediately put to the test. And it's through this challenge that it's going to deepen into something so much stronger. Jesus poses this question, and it's not just for the nobleman, it's for the whole crowd, and really for us too. He's challenging this idea that belief requires some kind of spectacular proof. He's pushing everyone to consider a faith that relies on his word alone, not just on what we can see or feel. But the nobleman, he doesn't back down. This right here is stage 2, a persistent faith. He doesn't have time to debate theology. All his desperation has sharpened into this single-minded focus. He isn't deterred by the rebuke. He just repeats his plea, which shows he truly, truly believes Jesus is his only hope. And here it is. This is the pivotal moment. Jesus doesn't go with him. He doesn't perform some big, visible sign. He just offers his word, a command to go, and a promise that the need has already been met. This requires pure, unadulterated trust. And this is the big shift. The nobleman moves from stage 2, this persistent faith that's begging for a sign, to stage 3, a trusting faith that acts on the word alone. He heard it, he believed it, and he immediately turned and went. His action was the proof. So the crucial point here is that this third stage is active. It's not just mentally agreeing with a fact. It's this deep conviction in God's power and character that is so strong it leads you to immediate, no questions asked obedience, even when you can't see the outcome yet. Okay, so the nobleman acted in faith. He's heading home with absolutely nothing but a promise in his hand. But on that journey back, his trusting faith is about to get a powerful, undeniable confirmation. So let's just trace these events. While the father is still on the road, his servants come rushing to meet him with this unbelievable news. His son is alive. He's totally fine. He asks them when. When did the boy get better? And their answer is so precise. Yesterday, at the 7th hour. That was the exact same time that Jesus spoke those words, "Thy son liveth." I mean, this one detail is everything. It just removes all possible doubt. The man now knows with 100% certainty that his son's healing wasn't some lucky break or a natural fever breaking. No, it was a direct, supernatural act tied specifically to the word of Jesus. His belief is now confirmed by cold, hard evidence. And this confirmation leads directly to the fifth and final stage. Because when your faith gets confirmed in such a powerful way, well, it can't be contained. A personal experience like that just has to transform into a shared testimony. The impact is immediate, and it's exponential. The nobleman gets home and he shares the entire story, the journey, the test, the promise, and that incredible time-stamped confirmation. And the result? His single personal faith spreads to his entire household. And let's not underestimate what this really cost him. As a high-ranking official in Herod's court, declaring faith in Jesus would have absolutely invited ridicule. It would have jeopardized his career. But his confirmed faith gave him the courage to witness anyway. And that's a challenge many of us face today, right? When sharing what we believe might risk relationships or our social standing. So let's bring this all together. We've just traced this man's faith from a desperate cry for help all the way to a courageous, family-transforming testimony. It's a complete and incredibly powerful arc. This whole journey perfectly illustrates a promise we see later in the book of Acts. The faith of just one individual can have this amazing ripple effect, bringing salvation and belief to their entire household. The nobleman's story is a living, breathing example of this principle in action. You know, this story reveals a powerful truth. Faith isn't a destination, it's a dynamic journey through these distinct stages of growth and testing and confirmation. And that leads us to a final, personal question. In your own journey, what's the next step?